Page 32, simplifying ratios and rates. So we can use ratios to compare amounts or quantities, or to describe a relationship between two amounts or quantities. So we might describe the cost of a month's rent compared to, say, a month's income. Or the volume per cost of 2 different brands of shaving cream, figure out which one's the better deal. We can write this in 3 different ways. So we can write it with the word 2. We have 10 sugar cookies for every 20 chocolate chip cookies. Then we're going to write this as 10 to 20, ratio of sugar cookies to chocolate chip cookies. Make sure that you've got them in the right order. If I had asked for the ratio of chocolate chip cookies to sugar cookies, it would be the reverse. We can also write it as a, let's try that again, as a fraction. So 10 to 20, or we can write it with a colon. Colon, just the 2 dots, so 10 to 20. If I wanted to simplify those, I could. Simplifying works just the same as it does for any fraction. Divide top and bottom by the same number. So divide by 10, we're going to get 1/2, or 1 to 2, or 1 to 2. Usually one quantity is greater than the other quantity. It doesn't matter which is first. It does matter which is first. But either one can be first depending on what's asked for. So it's okay to have a bigger number over a smaller number, to have what looks like an improper fraction. That's okay. The relationship just has to be consistent. We can compare a part to another part, or a part to the whole. And we never write a ratio as a mixed number. So if I have a 3 to 2 ratio, that's 3 over 2, I don't write that as 1/2 ever. It's not how I write a ratio. So we leave it improper if it happens to be improper. Add that, leave improper. Okay, so we've got some chocolate chips and homemade chocolate chips. He ensures that each cookie contains 10. When he buys them, they have about 16. So we want a ratio that expresses the amount in a store-bought cookie. So store-bought was 16. Compared to the amount of chocolate chips in his homemade cookies. And it said simplified. So 16 and 10 share a common factor of 2. Divide out, get 8 to 5. Or 8 to 5. Or 8 over 5. Again, this is not the same as 1 3/5. It just doesn't make sense for a ratio. So we've got some oatmeal. We have 3 cups of oatmeal for every 6 cups of water. I'll start this one out. 6 cups of water. And we want to mix it with 3 cups of water. This is going to be the same as 3 cups of water. We need to figure out how many cups of oats. So we ask ourselves, just like when we were doing the bake sale problem many sessions ago, we have 6 going down to a 3, so we're dividing by 2. The same thing here. 3 divided by 2 is 1/2. Which I'm going to write as 1.5. Now this part, it's okay to have as a mixed number. So I could have written this as 1.5. The ratio, however, gets a little weird when I have a fraction in a fraction. It's okay to have it, but you can also get rid of it when you're looking and have something that's more like 3/6. However, it doesn't ask for the ratio. It asks how much oatmeal. The answer is 1.5, and I lost my cups. So cups of oatmeal. 1.5 cups of oatmeal. Let's take a look at page 33. So page 33, we have 2 cups of oatmeal. This is a similar problem to the previous, but now we know how much oatmeal instead of knowing how much water. Part C, your mixing bowl holds 12 cups and you want to make as much oatmeal as possible. So before we were comparing part to part, now we're comparing part to whole. Think about how you can figure that out, how you can figure out how much of each ingredient. So your final answer, you know, is going to be in cups, and you know it's going to add to 12 cups. But what 2 numbers do we need to keep the ratio right so we don't have really watery oatmeal or really dry oatmeal? Okay, we've got student to teacher ratios. We want 9 students for every teacher, and we have 27 students. So 9 students to 1 teacher. That ratio is going to be the same when we have 27 students. I'm going to ask myself, well, what did I multiply by to go from 9 to 27? I'll do the same thing. I'll figure out how many teachers I need. Again, keeping the units, keeping teachers. If I said I need 2.5 teachers, I'd want to double check that. Because yes, sometimes you can hire a teacher for half time or something. But in general, if I'm talking about how many teachers there are, I'm probably looking for a whole number. Part B, same thing. In terms of probably looking for a whole number of students, we're probably not enrolling students part-time. So this one we might have to round. Think about which way you want to round to make sure that the ratio is at most 10 to 3.